We are here in my garden today. As promised, if you watched our last video, I promised that there'd be a part 2 so that I could share with you guys what I have going on in my garden. If you are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And after you share, check out the video prior to this one because normally I'm here with my sister because it is the sister's garden, but today you got me. So let's go on this journey and see what I have still growing towards the end of August as we prep and prepare for our fall garden. Today's video, what I want to do is I want to give you guys an overall update of what's going on in the garden, but also off camera, I have been transplanting some of the fall seeds that I started, such as my spinach, and I believe I have like some kale and I think broccoli, I'm not sure, but some of my fall seeds. And I also have some seedlings that I want to, let me show you guys, get into the green stalk. So I do have these here, which are beets and some lettuce that I want to get into the green stalk. Um, they are still, some of them do have true leaves, but they're leggy, and I really don't want to go through the up potting process, because I do have this in my greenhouse in my apartment, but I don't want to go through that process. So I'm going to skip that process and we're going to get them into whatever empty spots we have in our green stalks. If you watched my last video, we had a garden game and I said pick a plant that has a certain personality. And what is that personality? So this is my lemon cucumber plant that I was telling you guys about. Where every morning I come out here and I adjust her head because I wanted her, my intentions was to have, once she grows up, to then flip her and have her go down. That way it's not growing out of the trellis because I am gardening in a small space. So as you can see, every day I come out here, I have to readjust her. And now she's locked back in up. So I gently take her and I flip her downwards to get her to basically wrap herself around to go down. I even take her tendrils and wrap them up, but somehow it's not the position she wants to be, which, I mean, I get it, but we got to work with our space, honey. So there we go. So we have the lemon cucumber here, which soon should be getting its flowers. We have our Virginia sweet tomato plant, which was a succession planting plant, and we're just now getting the flowers, as you can see. So we'll be getting some Virginia sweets soon. Here's our green stalk. A lot has come out of this green stalk. We do have some basil left, and we have the shishito peppers still producing. She's been a showstopper. This is the showstopper. So the biggest winner in my garden has been the peppers. So guys, put in a comment and let me know what the biggest winner has been in your garden this planting summer season. The basil and the peppers still going from, I think I put these plants in back in February, March. Green stalk, we have the purple beauty bell peppers, just producing peppers after peppers. And as you can see, they still have flowers, producing more peppers. So listen, the more it produces, the less, I should say, I have to go to the market to buy. So we're going to keep those until they can't go any longer. Here are some eggplants. If you watched my previous video, my eggplant did not do well. I had to pull it. The flowers were coming in, but they kept dropping. So this is actually a bush variety eggplant. So we'll see how that goes. The celery still going. We have more basil and some empty pockets. These empty pockets are going to be where we put in our seedlings for the fall. Here, I put in some dinosaur kale, as you can see, transplanted. Over here, we have some regular kale that's coming in here. And these are supposed to be collard greens. that I seeded and I kept out. Here, some more collards, seeds starting. And here we have another lemon cucumber plant that's waiting to produce flowers. And then over here is our basil tower with a bunch of empty pockets. But we also have aroma, which I probably wouldn't even have the ability to even get tomatoes off of this because it's growing so slow, with some beans and a bunch of empty pockets. Here we have our ginger. Now I've been harvesting off of this ginger, and here's what it looks like. So this one actually had an extra ginger on it that I had harvested, and then I'm putting this one back because it still has a root to it. And then here we have our strawberry tower with our strawberries and another eggplant, bush variety, with some more celery, another eggplant. I'm letting these summer crops go until they can't go anymore. We're still having hot weather. I not let it go until it can't go anymore. I'm fine with that. And we just gonna keep producing, keep letting it do. That is what I have going on in the garden. And next, what I want to do, I want to pull out this green stalk back there so that I could use that one. Put in two things. And while we're doing that, we're going to have a little garden chit chat. I want to update y'all on some family lifestyle changes that I've decided to make in my house. So this is the good thing about a green stalk when you're gardening in a small space, is that if you have it on a mover, you can definitely move it around in your garden. All right, so I want to move it over here so that we can Here's the giant Caesar that I'm going to transplant. I'm going to put one inside here and then the rest in the empty pocket. Some of them, they got true leaves, so hopefully they'll be all right being outside. And while we do that, so garden chit chat. Let's do some garden chit chat. So I've decided to make some lifestyle changes in my household, and this all stems from my younger son, who is 10 years old, and he has really bad eczema. He was born with the eczema, but this summer was really, like, his outbreaks was bad. I mean, I'm gonna put a picture up. In the crease of his elbows, the back of his knees. And I'm gonna first start and say that we don't eat out, don't order out, and I do most of my cooking here at home. However, he still eats dairy. He still eats chicken. We don't eat red meat. But he's eating the things that he really should not be eating, as someone who suffers really bad with eczema and has food allergies. So he does have bad allergies to tree nuts and finfish. He grew out of shellfish and he grew out of cashews. So right now, he has really bad seasonal allergies. So a couple of weeks ago, his father said to me, he said, my son's name is Tucson. He said, you see Tucson's elbows and the back of his knees? He said, it's really bad, and it's from the food he's eating. And I know this because he was born, like I said, he was born with bad eczema. And as an infant, breastfed him, and I had to make all of his food naturally. So I was getting fresh produce and I was putting it in the blender and blending and pureeing it down. That's how I had to feed him. But with that being said, at the same time, I was working 7 to 4. So when it was time for me to go back to work, I continued to breastfeed him, but I was pumping. So now it's him less on the breast. And although I was pumping, for all of the mothers out there who has breastfed and also had to pump and go to work, the less your child is on your breast, the less production of milk you're going to produce. So after a while, I started to decrease in my breast milk, and eventually I ended up switching him over to formula because I had to bring milk to the babysitter. So I think that played that had an impact on his eczema. But with that being said, his father brought it to my attention, and immediately me knowing that he's not eating properly, it it's a reflection of me, and I have to take accountability because although we don't eat out and I do all of the cooking, he's still not eating the correct foods. So, being that this has been the worst that it's been for him, we all need a lifestyle change anyway. The food just is not fooding, which is why we're all here trying to grow our own food because we understand that the food is not fooding when you purchase it from the market. So I told him, I went to hear my older son, who's 14, and I said, listen, I'm going to do all fruit. I'm going to do an all fruit. I don't want to say diet because it's not a diet, but an all fruit meal plan for 7 days. And I said 7 days because I didn't want to say lifestyle change and freak them out. So I said 7 days. And surprisingly, they were with it. But I will say I'm grateful to God that my children are open minded to these things because even though, he's not eating the correct foods for his body, we still have an abundance amount of fruits that I buy. So that's their snacks, fruits and nuts, and vegetables, it's all incorporated in all of our diet, but all of the foods are not right for his body. And they were with it. So I also understand that he needs to detox. So trying to incorporate herbs that will help detoxify his gut and then replenish it with the fruits, because truthfully, our bodies are like our plants. And as gardeners, we're out here and we're making sure our plants, are growing properly by feeding it, nourishing it, giving it the necessary ingredients that it needs to survive, depending on each plant. So if we're doing this to our plant to get it to grow to its fullest potential, why not treat our bodies like that? Because our bodies truly grow like plants. We start out from seed and we grow, and depending on what we're inputting into our bodies will determine the outcome of what we become as a human being, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So it's important that I feed his body the necessary nutrients that his body needs, and he needs to be detoxified to cleanse his organs and his internal system, his guts, so that whatever is affecting his eczema can begin to be addressed. So I give much props to their father because he does have them doing walks. It started out with, I would say, like a mile and a half walks. He would have them walk to Walmart, give them $1, tell them to go get some lemons to be sure that they were actually walking to Walmart and then walk back, which was fine because Walmart, it is like a mile. It's not long. So I was with that because the walks allow them the opportunity to get sun, get out of the house, get off of the game, get the sun that's needed for them. It also helps with their brotherly bond because they get to bond with each other, and it creates discipline. So I was with it. I did give a little kickback on the hot days, but I made sure that, they stay hydrated, provided them with water, made juices because I'm always juices, had them replenish on the juices for the electrolytes. But then he upped the ante, and their walks they're also athletes. They play basketball. So it's also good for the sport for them as well. He upped the ante and he started having them do a 5-mile walk. I gave some kickback, but I had to put my emotions to the side and really think logically about the benefits of why he's doing it and how it's benefiting them. And I'd have to say that it's a good thing for them. And I've been proud of them. So incorporating the walks and the changing of the diet, I've noticed that his breathing has decreased because he was suffering from respiratory. You could literally hear him breathing just sitting next to him. And I don't hear it. And I noticed that the other day. I said, Tucson, do you notice that you're not breathing heavy? And he's like, yeah, I do notice. So this definitely needs to be a lifestyle change. I'm going to do my best to stay disciplined and stick with it. It was tough for him in the beginning, trying to figure out what he was going to eat. But I'm like, dude, I just bought a whole bunch of fruits. What do you mean you're struggling to figure out what you're going to eat? So changing his mindset too. So I told him, I said, listen, because I got rid of everything with the exception of the things that my 5-year-old likes. He's too young right now for me to, you know, change his lifestyle all the way around. Good thing with my 5-year-old is he already loves fruit. He's been a breastfed baby all his life, never had formula and never ate meat, and he doesn't like meat. The only meat he'll really take to are the chicken nuggets. But I think he doesn't really think that it's real chicken, like he sees the chicken. If he knew that, well, these chicken nuggets aren't really chicken nuggets, but if he was under the impression that the chicken nuggets came from the chicken, he probably would not eat it. But for the most part, his diet is nothing but fruits. Anyway, so I had to basically hide the things that I get from my 5-year-old so that we wouldn't be enticed because I did catch him trying to sneak and eat some of his food. And I had to tell Tucson, I said, Tucson, do you like the itching of your skin? And he's like, no. And I said, well, I can do all of these things for you, but you have to want it for yourself first, you know? So I know that this is an adjustment and it's, against the grain of what we normally do, but this is to benefit you. And if you are willing to accept the challenge, if you are willing to accept the challenge of adjusting to changing what you eat, because the outcome is going to be you won't have the itchiness and you'll feel good, you'll look good, then, it'll be all worth it. And he's been doing good so far. Yesterday I saw he came in from the walk and he ate up the cantaloupe. That sweet cantaloupe. Again, guys, I got seeds. So for those who wanted seeds, if you left me a message, please send me an email. I'm going to put the email on the screen. Send me an email requesting an email so that I can get your information and mail them out because I'm mailing out seeds to those who got back in contact with me, and I'm mailing them out on Monday. But yeah, he loves that cantaloupe. He loves oranges, strawberries. He blends them up. Strawberry juice. Sorry, guys, the sun's in my face. But that's the lifestyle change that we're looking to do. And I definitely, if you guys are interested, want to keep you guys on the journey of how, his skin is doing because a lot of people suffer from eczema. There are a lot of people suffering from eczema, psoriasis, and are using topical creams, steroidal creams, when really all of those things are not attacking a problem. It's just basically putting a band-aid on it, but the eczema is still there. So it's important to me that we look to address, what the real issue is, which is his gut. He needs to detoxify. And that's the truth. We all need to detoxify our bodies because we're just exposed to too much radiation, bad foods. The supermarkets are just pushing all of this processed food. They're trying to deter us away, growing our own foods, eating our vegetables. Every time you turn around, something in the produce section is being recalled. And it pains me to see our people say, oh goodness, I'm not eating my salad. Like, it sounds ridiculous to say I'm not eating my salads because they're trying to put fear into our minds that eating fresh live food is not good. It's not good for us. But anyway, that's what we're doing. And I hope that his journey impacts someone else's who may be going through the same thing. These beets are super leggy. I'm hoping that it'll survive. Let me add some soil. I don't do a lot of videos. I don't do my videos really here from my house as much like I used to because I did bring my sister on, and I love gardening with my sister and helping her garden grow because I started this journey first and then I brought her on. So my intentions was to create and help her build her garden, and why not do it together? But here at my garden's not covered and everybody's looking at me. I feel like everybody's looking at me. People always crossing my yard to my patio to walk their dog. So it's the privacy. It's the having no privacy that kind of intimidates me from wanting to do it. But at times, I don't care. But there's some times where I'm like, I have to stop because people just, people want to know what you're doing. So when I do, I try to get out here early. Today's Sunday. I try to get out here early to get it going because I know people are not up. They're still sleeping and I can get the video. Okay, so I have the beets in. We have the beets in. The sun is blazing, but it feels beautiful out. Let's see. So this right here is the giant Caesar lettuce. We have the beets here. I was talking and yapping, but I'm gonna go in and add the necessary nutrients, plant foods to it. So for the beets, I'm gonna put in bone meal. For the lettuce, I'm gonna add some blood meal. Being that with the beets are a root crop, so they need more magnesium and potassium, whereas the lettuce can definitely use more nitrogen, which you will get from the blood meal. So we have the beets in. I still have these to separate. So I am going to put it in the tower over here, being that we still have some warm weather, but this one tends to be more shaded out, so I think the beets would do better here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the beets in there, and then put you guys in fast mode. Enjoy our new Sisters in the Garden music, and I'll be right back. Hold it. I'm gonna go ahead and cover up. I'm hoping that they do all right. I have not been successful with these, but we'll see. If not, if they don't do well, then I'll just do some direct sowing. I have some kale here that I direct sow. This is a blended kale. If you can see, there's some germination. I have lettuce here that I started from seeds. Here's the collard that I transplanted here. So we've been working in the garden. I don't show it, but we're doing some work. Before we end the video, I also want to get carrots in. So I'm going to go ahead and direct sow some carrots. Get this in. Cover. All right. I'm about ready to pull. This purple bean will plant. It hasn't really been giving me any bean, and I'm fine with it. All right. So I forgot I have these onions. I have a couple of onions in here that survived the storm that I had to up pots. A lot of them got drowned, and I had to restart some onions. But these were a few that survived the storm. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in a grow bag. It's not that many, it's about 3 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in here. It has some all-purpose, some bone.
Sisters in the garden, morning on the leaves, soft light on the petals and the breeze that believes we came with open hands. We came to learn the grace of growing side by side in this quiet, sacred place. Every seed has time, every heart a song. We were meant to bend, but never break too long. When the day feels heavy, you're the steady flame, calling me back home, speaking love by name. Sisters in the garden, laughing through the rain, trading little stories.
Line shavings, and I bought this bag from Walmart last growing season. So it like, if you're looking for a cheap way to, what do you call this that I'm doing? I have brain fog. If you're looking for a cheap way to protect your soil, here's some pine shaving, Walmart, and I believe this bag was no more than $8. And I'm still using it. And it's good, especially if you're growing in a small space. You'll definitely get your money's worth. But also, the free way to do is collect your leaves. You can use your leaves, and that helps keep the soil cool, warm, depending on the seasons, but it also provides nitrogen to your soil. So your natural leaves that fall off the tree, collect them, use them, and you'll get all of the benefits that way too. So I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of this all-purpose 10-10-10. Carrots are heavy feeders, but they're also root crops, so I'll add a little bit of blood meal. And water it. And today I will be planting Denvalong carrots. Guys, I promise you, there are carrot seeds in here. I think it was just too hot and it has not germinated, so I will not be surprised if I end up eventually getting more. I'm actually going to add some diatomaceous earth in here. This will be on the safe side. So I do have some food grade diatomaceous earth. And you don't really need that much because it's very, very fine. Very fine. So sprinkle, and that's it. Mix that in. Kermit just left. Okay. That. Now I gotta go get my carrots. So these are the seeds that I have from my nursery. They're from last year's garden season, so we'll see. I did do carrots, but it wasn't this variety. So what I'm going to do, just line it, grow it out. They're very tiny seeds, so they really can be surface sowed. You can surface sow them. If not surface sow, just lightly cover them with soil, but they're very tiny. So I'm just going to sprinkle out, eventually end up thinning them out. Carrots and beets are very tricky to me because you do have to go in and thin them out, or else you'll get very deformed root crops. So I'm just going to pat. And, dear Creator, I plant these seeds and I pray over it that they give us some carrots, God willing. So that is what I have going on over here in my garden. I hope I did not talk your ears off too much about the lifestyle king and what we're doing in our household pertaining to my son's eczema. Again, my name is Amina. I don't know if I can't remember if I said it in the beginning. Well, my name is Amina, and please do not forget to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Your garden Start you a garden. It only takes one plant, I promise you. One plant. Start an herb plant, tomato plant, carrot, whatever. Let it be something that you use so that you'll enjoy the benefits behind it. Because I promise you, we have to think about the future. We already are losing our seeds in our grapes and our watermelons. Like people are actually driving miles to find fruits that have seeds. Um, I was mind blown when I bought some oranges and didn't find the seeds. So now I'm looking for seeded oranges. So little by little, guys, they are eliminating the seeds. They don't want us growing our own food. But we are strong and we are going to defeat the odds. Grow your seeds. I encourage all gardeners to save your seeds, share your seeds, sell your seeds, however you want to do it, but save them so that we can all help one another. Because if we don't help each other, listen, we we lose. We lose in the end. Peace and blessings, guys.
Sisters in the garden.